Welcome to Veterans Voice, where we highlight programs and services that support our veterans. I'm James Mabel. Military service provides training in a broad range of soft skills that can translate well into being an entrepreneur. Houston Community College has resources to help veterans start or grow a business. Chief Entrepreneurial Officer Maya Dernovo joins us.
Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. So tell us, why do you think entrepreneurial life fits so well with many veterans?
I think because veterans have a lot of experience, they've got a lot of energy, they've got a lot of creativity, and they have ideas for a business. And if they do, we are here to help them because we've got a very robust, a lot of robust programs to help them either start a business or grow a business or both, and both. Yeah.
And speaking of programming, tell us about your Small Business Success Series.
So this is a series that goes for 5 days. It's 40 hours. And it really starts with, do I have a good idea? Is there a market for my idea? Do I understand the finances? Do I know how to market? And do I have plans? So it's really taking the idea for the business and helping you to develop it and really see if it's a good one. It's one of the fundamental programs that we have that we recommend for people who are just getting started because it gives you that foundation. And as a matter of fact, we have one starting in March. So for those veterans that are interested in participating, it's available. It's going to be virtual and there's no cost to the participants, which makes it a great deal.
Sounds like an excellent program. And I hear that about your Minority Business Development Agency. Can you tell us how that is kind of weaved into the Success Series?
Yeah, so we've had it's called the MBDA, Minority Business Development Agency, which is funded by the Department of Commerce. And what the staff does there is they connect minority-owned businesses with contracting opportunities and financial opportunities. So this is a program that's not for the startup. You really have to have been in existence at least 2 years. But if you're interested in growing and you want contracts, this is the place to go. Let me give you an example. Every month they sponsor what's called business matchmaking. So you'll come in and you will participate in a session where you will meet larger contractors and have an opportunity to learn about the opportunities to submitting a bid. And then they will help you create that bid. It's called Subs and Sandwiches. I was blocking on the name, Subs and Sandwiches. And right now it's virtual, but eventually we'll go back to having them in person. So you're going to have a sandwich and then you're going to meet the contractors. So
sounds like
it's great. And let me give you a sense of over the last 8 years that we've had the agency, we have helped minority-owned businesses access $531 million of contracts and over $600 billion in financing. Because very often, if you get a very large contract, you need the financing that goes along with it. So the work is just incredible. And we have 2 business advisors, and they work one-on-one with the minority-owned business to help them access those contracts, put the bid together, put the program together. It's really a phenomenal staff. I'm really proud of the work that they do.
Yes, and it sounds like there's so much that a prospective business owner needs to keep in mind in order to be successful with their business. And so tell us more about what you do for women entrepreneurs.
So this past September, we won a very large grant from Wells Fargo. It's called Open for Business for Women Entrepreneurs, with a focus on minority women, African American, Hispanic, Asian, Indo-American, Native American. It really is to help women, the same thing, start a business or grow a business. So the Small Business Success Series that we talked about earlier, we offered a cohort right in the very beginning, and we had 162 women participate in that program. I mean, it was just amazing because there really is that need to learn all of the basics of running a business. And right now, what we have running is a leadership program. So that's to help minority-owned businesses really learn about leadership skills. And I think women in particular benefit from that because they might have the business skills, but don't always necessarily have the confidence that goes with that. So this program really helps to build their confidence and really for them to feel empowered because they're capable. They have incredible ideas. They have good businesses. They just need that extra little push, that encouragement. And that's what we offer, along with a lot of advice. Because if they're stuck someplace, whether it's with their financing or with their strategy or their marketing, we come in and help them with that. So we've got a lot of programs for women. And if you're interested, I think you're going to put my email address and I will put you on our mailing list and make sure that you get, actually, we have weekly e-blasts that go out to let you know about them. Another program that's built into that is also about credit. So if you have a low credit score, we have a program that will help you raise that credit score. So it's everything that goes to being successful, to running a business, because that's what we want everyone to be, is to be successful.
And tell us about where your locations, the Centers for Entrepreneurship, are located in the HGC system and through the city of Houston.
Right. So right now we have 3 centers. One is at the Southeast College, one is at the Southwest and Northwest, and eventually we will have one at the Northeast. So kind of in the 4 quadrants of the city.
And you mentioned, Maya, about getting on that mailing list so that entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs are aware of services and resources and events that you're offering. Can you tell us about some more digital skills that entrepreneurs can learn through your office?
So the program that I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we have a digital academy that's starting March the 22nd and the 23rd. The 22nd is in English, the 23rd is in Spanish. So this is where you will learn all of those digital skills that you need today to promote your business. Because if you don't have a website, if you don't have social media, if you don't have a way of promoting yourself online, it's really difficult to grow the business because people don't know where you are. So that's what we do. We provide all of those tools and skills to help you really start to grow your business, but learning to do it in this virtual world that we're in right now. So what we discovered about a year ago, when we were in the middle of the pandemic, we developed this program, and we also have interns from either the University of Houston or Houston Community College that will match you with, that can help you with that that marketing in that online environment that sometimes can be really challenging, right? But here you've got somebody that not only can advise you one-on-one, but you also have a little program where you get the instructional side. So that's what's starting up in March. It's a great opportunity just to learn what we do and to meet some of the instructors, because they're so passionate about what they do. And the result is that the businesses really grow. So, and, you know, in the pandemic, when we had some small businesses that were like, had either a storefront, they suddenly started to grow because they could sell their products online. Before, they didn't know how to do that. Now they do. It's a whole new world because of this pandemic, right?
Yes, it is indeed. And you share so much valuable information with us today. Maya, thank you so much for being with us.
Sure. And happy to help any way I can.
Thank you, Maya. After the break, we look at HR with an eagle eye.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Nobody likes an awkward silence. You can actually use it for something good. You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to Veterans Voice. This is our Eagle Eye segment where we talk to veteran and military affiliated students, staff, and faculty who are making a difference at HCC. Today, we return our Eagle Eye to Sharon Thomas, manager at the Center for Career and Job Placement Services at Northwest College. Sharon, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, James, for having me.
Welcome, Sharon. And you are a military spouse. Tell us about the opportunities that give you both in your career and your life outside the office.
As a military spouse, well, first of all, I was in the military. I was Air Force. I was in the Air Force for 5 years. Got out and married a soldier. And so as a military spouse, sometimes you kind of find it hard to find a job in certain areas that you live in and so forth, because we lived in many countries. We lived in Egypt. We were stationed in Germany. We were stationed in Spain. And just to know some of the work that's there for the spouses, you know, so they can actually have some type of employment can sometimes be hard for some spouses because they don't know where to go. But the military does offer Head Start classes for any country that you go to include the United States. And that way you learn where to go and the resources that are available to you.
So tell us, through your experience, not only as a military spouse, but as a veteran, how did you come to arrive at HCC?
Well, when I was a military spouse, I worked with the Department of Defense contractor in order to transition military personnel from military life to the civilian sector. So there, we did basically what we do here at HCC. We help them, get their resumes together, set up interviews for them, and actually help them transition from the military. You know, the military uses a lot of acronyms, and those who have been in the military for 20-something years, they're used to those acronyms. They will put them in their resumes, you know, they will speak them when they talk. And this is something that we had to actually provide them information on, kind of get them out of that jargon that they speak there in the military. But one thing too that we did provide for them, we did provide the resources to help them transition, whether it was to a civilian job or the federal government. So we did provide TAP classes for them. And I want military personnel to understand that there are resources available for them. They have Soldier for Life, they have transition centers that can help military personnel and their spouses transition to the civilian sector.
And you're exactly right. The military has stepped up the services and resources that are available for those who are about to leave and as they transition from military to civilian life. So you're exactly right about those additional services that are out there. Tell us more about the experience and skills from your time as a veteran and spouse that have contributed to your success in your role at HCC.
Well, working with the military, there's a lot of regulations. A lot of times military puts a regulation before a law, you know. So working with the military, I know one incident that we had, I was working as the counselor, as one of the transition counselors. And we did have soldiers that were what we call downrange, but they were in Afghanistan or Iraq. And their soldiers had to have a pre-separation briefing 90 days prior to separation, which is their ETS, you know, estimated time to the service. And with that, you know, they were downrange. So it was like, how do we give them this pre-separation briefing, which is the law? And, but according to the military regulation, oh no, we're not moving them right now. So my suggestion was to actually provide them with that pre-separation briefing prior to going downrange. So that's what we did. So we started that, and now I see that that is still in place. And just to help the military to know what their benefits are, and also how they can receive the transition information while they are downrange, because they do have opportunity to send emails, to go online, in some incidents they're able to do that. But my experience was great, because military personnel, they don't realize how much experience they have. When you go into your field, for instance, my husband was the 91 Sierra, which is environmental. Well, not only do you work, you don't just work in one spot, in one place. You work in a variety, you work throughout your career field. So with him, it's just like he worked in the hospital, he also worked, in zoology, he worked in the inspecting the different dining facilities. So it takes a whole gambit of that field, and you work each and every piece of it. Here in the civilian sector, we usually, I do HR, I'm just doing recruiting, that type of thing. But they gain so much knowledge and experience while they're in. So when they come out, they're very valuable to any employer that hires them.
And you bring up such a parallel in what you did in the military and assisting those transitioning, and what you do in career services, where you're helping students transition. You're making sure students are aware of the services and resources before they leave HCC. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. With ACC, what we do is, help the students with their resume. Also, too, what we do is we try to, assess the student. If they don't know what they want to do, we have them take the assessment, the career coach. We guide them, through the different phases of their journey. For some students who are in our internships, we do have pathways for them, in order for them to upload their resume, practice the interviewing skills that they have, and also to, connect them and network them with employers. That's a big thing for our students, networking. And it's also a great thing for our military personnel, because our military personnel, they need to network outside of, a lot of them that have been in the military for numbers of years, they actually haven't networked too much outside of that military environment. But, learning how to network outside of that environment is very beneficial to them. So, we also have our students network with our employers, because for us, our events are employer driven. We try to bring out an employer for every event that we have.
Excellent. And can you tell us, what advice do you have for veterans to make the most of what HCC has to offer them?
I tell them to, for any veteran, to use the resources that are available to them. Know what those resources are. Look through HCC website and look at all the resources that are available to you, so that their transition will be a smooth transition. There's a lot to offer. There may be organizations that are available to them on campus, even off campus, but use all the resources that are available to you.
And Sharon, thank you so much for sharing your story and the resources and services your department provides.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. Veterans Voice will return after this break.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
love.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
La forma en la que ves tus opciones puede cambiar en un minuto. Houston Community College te ayuda a encontrar tu camino con más de 200 programas que te abren oportunidades a puestos de trabajo. Inscríbete hoy para las clases de primavera y enfoca tu futuro con HCC.
Welcome back to Veterans Voice. Veterans understand the importance of working with a solid infrastructure. U.S. Steel is a powerhouse in America's manufacturing infrastructure, and they actively invest in the veteran community. We recently spoke with recruiter and outreach coordinator, Scott Snyder. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Well, thank you, James. It's a pleasure being here. I want to thank you again and the veterans of HCC. And before I get started into answering your questions, I have to also, if it's okay, is welcome my colleague on the call, who is a recruiter for U.S. Steel in the Houston area, and that's Mr. Jed Jones. Jed, would you like to come introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, my name is Jed Jones. I work in the Human Resource Department for U.S. Steel at our offshore location here in Houston, Texas. But appreciate y'all having me on the show today.
Oh, excellent. Welcome to the show, Jed. Thank you both for being here. Scott, tell us about how long U.S. Steel has been around and the footprint here in the United States.
Wow. Well, U.S. Steel is truly an iconic American manufacturing company. It started in 1901 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and by some famous businessmen back in the 1900s, including Andrew Carnegie. And it's still headquartered in Pennsylvania. It's a large company with many locations. There's 24 facilities throughout the United States. A facility for us could include a manufacturing facility, a research facility, or maybe an administrative building as well. Plus, in addition to those 24 facilities, we also have joint ventures with other companies. And just to get an idea of some of the things U.S. Steel has been involved with, and this is just a small taste, by the way, the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge is U.S. Steel material. The U.S. Steel Tower, of course, in Pittsburgh. The New Orleans Superdome is also manufactured with U.S. Steel. So I just wanted to share those things. There's a lot more than that, of course, but U.S. Steel is truly a company it's American made and been around for a long time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's quite a name, U.S. Steel. Tell us about the job outlook for U.S. Steel, the positions that you have available, and what's happening in 2022.
Thanks for asking that question, because there's a lot of exciting stuff happening for United States Steel Corporation. We are growing as the rest of the economy in the United States and globally is growing today. We're part of that. As a steel producer, when you think of manufacturing or new buildings going up, typically you're looking at steel involved in that process. In addition to that, U.S. Steel is expanding their operations. There's a new facility that is opening up in Arkansas that will be hiring, and Jed can clarify or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's around 600 employees down there in the near future, and maybe 2022, 2023. And then when the infrastructure bill that the U.S. government just recently passed, we know that U.S. Steel will play a big part in that. So the outlook is fantastic. And the jobs, well, with the great outlook comes a lot of great jobs. And maybe you want to ask me some specifics, and I'll hold off on that until what your audience might be interested in finding out about jobs.
Well, you just mentioned that U.S. Steel is opening a facility in Arkansas, and obviously hundreds of positions available. Can you tell us about the difference between your wage positions you have available and your salaried positions?
Sure. The wage positions are your traditional skilled trades, labor type positions. U.S. Steel is United States Steelworkers, a very powerful, large union. So the wage positions are, those opportunities for folks that maybe don't want to go into management or don't have an interest. And for young people, it's a great entry into the company. And that's whether you decide to stay as a labor or wage worker, skilled labor, or you decide to, grow into management or change your career path. So that's the wage side of the house. The non-wage or salary is the management level. And that's typically where you have your college graduates and engineers, business majors, those folks that work for U.S. Steel.
And I'm going to kind of punt this to Jed, more specifically about those waged positions. Community colleges are known for providing students with skill sets for the trades or workforce type programs. So Jed, do you have positions available that speak to workforce or skilled trades type roles?
Sure. Even in our manufacturing environment, our production workers, it is good to have skills that come in that even though we're doing the same thing over and over in our pipe manufacturing, it is critical to have skills of measurements, understanding math that goes along with it, critical decision making goes along with it. We also have a variety of maintenance skills, whether it be on our mechanical or our electrical side. And we look for people that have education with it, because technology is changing daily. So there's more and more advancements with the use of technology, especially on the electrical side, where we really need help with people to keep our equipment going. So to rely on local schools that provide those skills is a great benefit to us.
Excellent. And obviously our audience is veterans, and our veterans are currently enrolled in a variety of programs that you've just illustrated the type of roles you have available. Tell us more about, and this could be Scott, about the culture for veterans at U.S. Steel.
That's a great question, because the culture at U.S. Steel when it comes to veterans is vast, it's large. There's a number of veterans that work for U.S. Steel, both in wage positions and in salary and management roles across the board. Our involvement from our veteran community with U.S. Steel outreach is also a very impressive. It's a large group. We have an acronym we call SERVE, which is Strengthening and Enhancing Relationships of Veteran Employees. And we have SERVE representatives, which are veterans, of course, at every single one of our plants. And I myself, as a veteran, yourself, that camaraderie, you sometimes miss it when you leave the military, in the civilian world. But I found that with U.S. Steel, I could find it again with the SERVE community, with these veterans that are always there, like we were in the military, the first ones that want to help out in some way, promote a good cause. And right now, we need more veterans that want to have a great career opportunity with U.S. Steel.
And it's always great to hear from veteran-friendly organizations like U.S. Steel. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for joining us today on the show.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Thank you, James. It was a pleasure to be here today.
If you'd like more information on any of the organizations and services you've seen on the program today, visit our website at hccs.edu/Veterans Voice. An audio version of this show is available on Apple Podcasts. Just search for the HCC TV Podcast Network and then hit the subscribe button. For everyone here at HCC TV, thank you for joining us on Veterans Voice.